This Good Morning Northwest morning sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is 6:53, time to get you ready to take on your Tuesday in the morning sprint.
It is American Heart Month, and Allison Martinez is breaking down the effects catching a respiratory illness could have on your heart.
Russia launched new strikes at Ukraine this morning. Sydney Charles has the details.
Mark has your forecast on another rainy, cloudy day ahead.
But first, breaking news overnight. A 16-year-old from Ephrata died in a crash in Grant County. Washington State Patrol says the teen's car was traveling south on State Route 17 last night, about 12 miles north of Soap Lake, when he lost control of the car. WSP says he was not wearing a seatbelt and died on the scene. His name has not been released yet.
3 teens accused in a deadly robbery in Spokane Friday are expected to make their first court appearances today. Spokane police say they chased a car that was leaving a shooting scene in northeast Spokane Friday afternoon, and that a gun was thrown from the car during the chase. Now, eventually, officers boxed in that car near Hamilton and Trent. A woman who was found shot in the head inside that car was taken to a hospital where she later died. Police have not said who shot her, but detectives say it all started over an argument about property.
It has been light and spotty showers in our First Alert weather, and of course, a reminder, the First Alert weather app still very valid and still very free. We do see sort of the backside of this coming in north of I-90 to the south. We still have more scattered showers that are coming through the region, heading for Rockford, Harrison, Worley. Temperatures, we're starting off mild. I mean, really 36, 37 degrees all over the place. We look at what we can expect for the day. We're going to climb up. We're going to peak at 43. We're going to be at the low 40s throughout the afternoon, but it's going to be hit and miss scattered showers.
This morning, Russia launching multiple assaults at Ukraine, pressing its advantages after capturing a key city in eastern Ukraine. One Ukrainian commander saying they just didn't have enough manpower and shells to hold off the latest Russian assaults. An expert telling ABC News that the worsening situation in Ukraine is directly linked to the billions of dollars in U.S. aid held up in the Republican-led House. House Speaker Mike Johnson has not signaled when he might pass new assistance.
Local lawmakers want federal help with the housing crisis. They're pushing for the U.S. Senate to pass a bipartisan tax package that would expand the low-income housing tax credit program. Now, if it's passed by the Senate, the program would fund an additional 1,700 units of affordable housing in Washington this year. Senator Maria Cantwell and Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown held a news conference to advocate for the tax credit at Mother Teresa Haven, a Catholic Charities affordable housing complex that was created because of this program. We have a link for more information about the program under this story on KXLY.com.
You may already have your voter's guide for Washington State's presidential primary election. Ballots will be mailed to you over the next few days for the March 12th primary. To make sure you are eligible to vote by mail, you must be registered by Monday, March 4th. You can register to vote in person all the way up until Election Day, though. You can stay up to date on all of our election coverage by going to KXLY.com/forthepeople.
This morning, doctors in Florida are closely watching a cluster of children infected with measles as experts warn about a surge in cases nationwide. According to the CDC, measles was eradicated in the U.S. in the start of the century, but falling vaccination rates have allowed the potentially deadly disease to make a comeback. Multiple cases have been reported in several states, including Florida and Philadelphia. Experts say when 95% of a community is vaccinated against the measles, it can't spread. But currently, 36 states, including Washington and Idaho, fall below that 95% threshold.
February is American Heart Health Month. I spoke to a Providence cardiologist to learn about the undeniable link between respiratory illnesses and heart health. Dr. Mooney told me you're 6 times more likely to have a heart attack in the 1 to 2 weeks after having the flu. For information on how you can keep your heart healthy and avoid respiratory illnesses, you can visit our website, KXLY.com.
A local construction company is accused of collecting more than $500,000 from clients without completing their projects in a year-long investigation. 4 News Now has been looking into Hammer Time Construction and Hammer Time Builders. We have found more than a dozen known victims who have come forward with complaints against these companies, many of them spending their life savings on a dream that was never finished. You'll hear their stories firsthand and learn what's standing in the way of justice in Jordan Smith's special report tonight on 4 News Now at 6 o'clock.
And coming up next on Good Morning America, coverage on the storm hammering California with heavy rain pummeling the state and millions of people under flood alerts. We'll have a final check of our weather here at home with Mark. That's coming up next.